is a really interesting story that I stumbled across last night. A progressive Republican is running in Arkansas. So Zaid Jilani of The Intercept explains here, the Republican Party wasn't always an organization dominated by the ultra-wealthy. While today most of its federal representatives in Congress are trying to pass a gigantic tax cut for the rich, disguised as a health care bill, it was once a party that liberated American slaves, established the Environmental Protection Agency, and broke up enormous business monopolies. That's the GOP that 42-year-old Arkansas pastor Rob Ryers is trying to revive. He is the first Republican to be endorsed by Brand New Congress, a grassroots group started by former Bernie Sanders staffers to encourage Democrats and Republicans who have never served in office before to run for Congress. Ryers is running in the primary to unseat incumbent GOP Representative Steve Womack, who has served in Congress since 2011. The district is heavily Republican. In 2016, Womack won with 77% of the vote. That makes the district essentially a one-party state. All of the serious political competition happens within the Republican Party. Okay, so now Justice Democrats and Brand New Congress have actually teamed up, as you know, and we work together on a lot of the Democratic candidates. But Brand New Congress is also its own separate group, and one of the things that they're doing, which is actually a really genius idea, is, well, why not run progressive Republicans in districts that are just overwhelmingly Republican and that a Democrat would have literally zero chance in? Why not have people who are Republicans who say, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I'm believe in, you lay out the priorities that are reasonable, and then see how they do? Because I certainly believe, and I think many of you in the audience do, that probably most Republicans, when they hear the argument for populist economic policies, for example, they're going to agree. Because the polls show many of them already do. Because those policies make sense and are good for people. Medicare for all, living wage, free college. So why not give them that option and give them the option under the Republican brand? And it's not the craziest idea ever, because there were some Republicans who were like that in the past, and furthermore, even some bad Republicans on certain issues were more reasonable. So this guy believes in climate change, and he wants to protect the environment. He's in favor of the EPA. He supports a public option for health care. By the way, 51% of Republicans support that. So isn't that funny? He's on the side of most Republican voters, but he's the only elected Republican who's on that page. So that's a good idea if you ask me. Run with the majority of your voters and push for issues that they actually agree with. He's also for getting money out of politics. So ending the corruption, which shows he's principled. And he wants to have a real debate of ideas, not a debate of who's going to represent their rival donors. I want to give you one of his quotes here so you can see where he's coming from. I really like this quote. He said, "You could look at President Reagan signing immigration reform. You could look at Richard Nixon helping establish needed environmental protections. You could talk about Dwight Eisenhower talking about the military-industrial complex. I think there's a lot of examples, if you kind of look back at Republicans, who really were on the right side of history in a number of ways, I should say." So that's great. I really, really like it. And I hope Rob Ryers ends up winning. And it would be wonderful to see a lot of Republicans like this start running all over the place. Because think about it. The opposite is a thing all over. Joe Manchin is a Republican who says, I'm a Democrat. Evan Bayh, same thing. So you can count, there's so many so-called blue dog Democrats who are basically Republicans, but they're Democrats. But the opposite is never a thing. It's never a thing where you have a Republican who, when you look at a lot of their policies, they're kind of Democratic with, hey, Medicare for all, hey, getting money out of politics. So why not have that? Why not try to have that? I mean, why is the spectrum always, by definition, by default, I should say, way on the right? Like, okay, we have the Republicans always have to be far right and the Democrats always have to be centrist. No. Why? No. So Brand New Congress is questioning that, and they're saying, hey, if we give people the option of progressive Republicans, we think they'll pick it. Dragging that spectrum back to the left, it's a brilliant idea. I wish him well, and I hope he wins.